This has Cavs fans very concerned, as a podcast recently brought up a point about Lonzo Ball's health, especially the injuries in the starting lineup, being a major concern going into this season and especially into the playoffs. With Lonzo Ball missing a lot of time in most recent seasons, specifically a 2-year gap from the game of basketball completely due to surgeries and injuries, his playing time on the Cavaliers and his full capabilities may not even matter due to his injury history and why his health could be a major concern for the Cavaliers' ability to win this season. Matt Plangy with Cavs Digest here, and it's been all about injuries recently with the Cavaliers to guys such as Darius Garland and Max Strus, and now we're getting injury concerns, not because he's hurt, but because of his injury history to Lonzo Ball, and that's why you should subscribe to Cavs Digest, because you never know what's happening with the Cleveland Cavaliers. Just under 72% of you are not subscribed, and if you want to stay updated with everything, all things Cavaliers, this is the spot to be at, especially when it comes to the season and you get pre-game thoughts, post-game thoughts, players who are going to play in the game, players who aren't, trades, especially the trade down, like, that's going to be amazing to be a part of Cavs Digest, right? But let's start and talk about Mr. Lonzo Ball, who is going to be the centerpiece of today's video. Lonzo Ball has had serious major injuries in his career that have left him sitting out for full seasons, 2 full seasons to be exact. He took a break from 2022 and then just played last year in 2024, early 2024, and that is when he finally came back to basketball. But 2-year gap is very, very concerning, just as a fan base alone, but also to a player. The Cleveland Cavaliers acquired Lonzo Ball this free agency in a straight-up trade with the Chicago Bulls, with Isaac Okoro being dealt to Chicago and Lonzo Ball being dealt to Cleveland. The Lonzo Ball trade didn't come as a full shock because we knew that the Cavaliers could be looking to make some moves, and he was linked. And we made a video about Lonzo Ball like a while ago before it happened, and then he ended up coming to the Cavaliers. So that's why you should stay also with the Cavs Digest channel. Just bear with us because a lot of times we're right about rumors and stuff like that. So, anyways, Lonzo Ball came to Cleveland in a straight up trade, and he filled in a need that we didn't think we needed, but the Cleveland Cavaliers let Mr. Ty Jerome walk. And that led them. So once they got Lonzo Ball, it seemed like Ty Jerome was completely gone. They let Ty Jerome go, and then they re-signed Sam Merrill instead. So now the point guard position is Darius Garland, who is also hurt, and we'll talk about that, and Lonzo Ball. So back to Lonzo. This is a player that has a lot of potential. We're talking about someone who even last season when he returned was making a name for himself. Someone who's able to shoot the ball very well, had a 40% from three-point season before his injury. And what Lonzo is most known for is his athletic capabilities, his playmaking skills, and his defense. Which, if you think about it, the point guard position, or just at the guard position alone, the Cleveland Cavaliers don't have somebody who is that good of a defender. And that is why Lonzo Ball was the perfect fit for the Cleveland Cavaliers at the backup point guard, because Ty Jerome is basically a scorer. But we already have a scorer at the point guard position and the guard position with Darius Garland and also Donovan Mitchell there. So you needed a defensive piece that can come in the game, give you 20 minutes of hard defense, and just fill in a huge need for the Cavaliers. And that's what Lonzo Ball is going to do. But now let's talk about the concern, because it came from the Wine and Gold podcast, Jimmy Watkins specifically, and that's what I'm here to talk about. So this is going to be a long quote, so just bear with me here. The guy has played 70 games over the last 4 NBA seasons. That's a lot of time missed. I don't mean to be glib about this stuff, but I'm not over the knee yet. He could be everything, and he can help the Cavs win a championship. Seriously. His health can be the difference between them winning a championship and not this year. But that's the whole thing, because the dude's never healthy. And even if you do trust the knee, it seems like the dude's made of glass everywhere. Mic drop. Because Jimmy Watkins, he's very blunt. He's straightforward. He'll tell you the truth. He'll tell you how he feels on the Wine and Gold podcast, and that's what he had to say about Lonzo Ball. But I showed you his highlights from one specific game when he returned to the Chicago Bulls and got to play. Clearly, he's a perfect fit for the Cavaliers, especially at the backup point position. Although his stats don't really tell you a full story about his 7 points per game, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 36% from the field, and 34% from 3. Doesn't seem like he's, all that phenomenal statistically. But as I said, you can't really see his defensive stats. 1.3 steals per game is great, but he's just a phenomenal defender. He's super athletic, and he can shoot the ball. Now, he won't be a shot creator like Darius Garland is, and like Ty Jerome was, but he is going to be able to score the ball, and that's important. He's not just Pat Bev who's going to play defense and maybe hit a shot. This guy can score at a good level, and he's a elite defender and elite playmaker, which is perfect for the point guard position. Some say that a healthy Lonzo, if he never got injured, would be better than Darius Garland for the point guard position for the Cavaliers. And some of you guys would probably think that because Darius Garland's defense looks a little lackluster at points. So I'm sure some of you guys would probably think that Lonzo Ball is a better fit. But let's get to reality here. Darius Garland is going to be out for probably, the first 10 games of the season, it's looking likely. Max Strus out until probably December. So you're going to have some guys play in. So it seems likely, I'm not going to reveal the starting lineup, but it seems very, very likely from Chris Fedor and a lot of Terry Pluto and a lot of other guys, including me, who I made a video on, that Sam Merrill is going to be in the starting lineup at the shooting guard position, with Darius Garland at point guard, DeAndre Hunter at small forward, and then Mobley and Allen. So Darius Garland being injured, Max Strus being injured, Lonzo Ball, 25 minutes is needed. It's not a if, it's a must. Lonzo Ball needs to play a lot of minutes for the Cavaliers in the regular season. Although the Cleveland Cavaliers limiting minutes might make sense so they can stay healthy, you also want your guys to be prepared for physicality in the playoffs, which I also made a video on, and Alonzo was a big highlight in that one as well. But it seems as if that guys weren't prepared for physicality and having to play a lot of playing time against the Pacers, which is why if you're the Cavaliers, yes, you should be able to rest some guys in blowout scenarios, but you shouldn't be trying to play every single person 20 minutes because it will hurt your team's physicality in the playoffs. So, with Darius Garland being out, Lonzo Ball has to play minutes, and I want him to play minutes. I don't think you should limit him fully. I think you can rest him some games. I know load management's a weird thing, especially with Kawhi Leonard's situation right now. That's a little weird, but we're not going to talk about that. But we know load management's a weird thing, and sitting guys due to their injury history is also kind of weird. But for the most part, it seems as if Lonzo Ball needs to get playing time for this team for them to win anyways. And of course, Ty Jerome being gone, you don't have another backup point guard. It comes down to just Lonzo is the only true point guard on the team. Because Donovan Mitchell is going to be there, but he's a shooting guard. And yes, I'm totally okay with Donovan Mitchell playing the one. But Lonzo Ball is the only true point guard you have on the team as of right now, other than Craig Porter, and we're not going to talk about Craig Porter here. So, but let's talk about why the injuries are a concern. So you're going to see here games played on the left. His most he's played in a season was 63 games in a season. And he was still developing at that time. 37.5% from three is decent. He was a great rebounder, great playmaker. He was still really, really good. 12 points, 7 assists, 5 rebounds, whatever it was, is great. Then he ended up getting on the Bulls. He actually ended up shooting 42% from three, but he only played 35 games. And that's when he had an injury to end his, what looked like could be career. Then he took a 2-year gap. I believe he started playing, I think his first game back was October of 2024. And that is when he finally cemented himself as someone that is able to play basketball again after a bunch of successful surgeries of 2 years of missing time on the court. So it raises a major concern for us as fans and for the Cavs in general. If a guy that hasn't played 70 games in 4 seasons, the most he's played since 2020, 2021 is 35 games in a season. He only played 55 in New Orleans. He had a minor injury, I'm pretty sure then. 47 on the Lakers one season. He had a minor injury then. He's just always injured. And that is why maybe losing Ty Jerome, maybe some of you guys are right. Maybe losing Ty Jerome is going to be a bigger hit on the Cleveland Cavaliers than we thought because of the fact that if Lonzo misses, let's say 30 games but comes back for playoffs, how do you know that Lonzo's going to be able to commit to any sort of playing time when he's hurt again? That's why it's so concerning to me, and that's why Jimmy Watkins makes such a good point on the Wine and Gold podcast. And why it leaves me so concerned is because, yes, I truly believe that Lonzo Ball is the perfect fit at the point guard position, but we can't live in hypotheticals anymore. We are a 60-win team last season, and we're on paper a 60-win team again. I don't think we're going to win 60 games because of injuries, but that's okay. Because we know the Cleveland Cavaliers are going to be at the top of the Eastern Conference and are going to have to compete. But the Eastern Conference is weak, sadly due to injuries. I understand that. The Boston Celtics have nobody. The Indiana Pacers don't have Halliburton. The Bucks might be decent. The New York Knicks are going to be probably the best contender. The Raptors might make a run as a 7 seed or something. Who knows? Overall, the Cavaliers are the clear best team in the Eastern Conference outside of New York. So you have to be healthy for the playoffs, but you have to prepare your guys for physicality. So it leaves the Cavs in a very big scenario. Do they want to play Lonzo Ball more than 20 minutes, or do they want to protect his health for the playoffs? It leaves the Cavs in a big spot, and that's why I'm very, very concerned as a fan. Let me know what you guys think about Lonzo Ball and his health and how the Cleveland Cavaliers should go about his playing time. Matt Blanchard with Cavs Digest. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Like this video, subscribe to this channel, share this video with your friends, and thank you guys for joining me here on Cavs Digest.